Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel. So I asked on Instagram if you had any questions for me. For those of you that don't know, oh, look at little Sebby in the background there. Hi Sebastian. So I've got 10 here that I'm going to go through and hopefully answer all those questions. Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel. So I asked on Instagram if you had any questions for me. For those of you that don't know, I'm Tina. I'm the CEO of Lovedbyparents.com, also mum to 5. So we've got 5 children. We have Matthew, he's 20, Leah, who's 17, Sienna, that's 13, Eva, that's 8, and Sebi, that's 2. So we've got a real wide range of kids. I don't know, when I look back, I often think that I can't believe that I've been pregnant 5 times. I can't believe that I've done labour 5 times. And it's just like a real mix to have. There's always something going on. But it's great fun. Right, so I'll get on with these questions. So question number 1, which age children do I have? Which have I preferred over the years? Okay, so that's a bit of a tricky one. I think, to be honest, having a baby by comparison to having a teen is a lot easier because, you know, you can put them down and they will stay there, well, before they can move. You basically have whole control over them. And I think when they become, obviously, teenagers, it's just like a whole different world altogether. But I think that every age has its challenges and you go through it and you just have to just try and pick your battles and figure your way out the other side. And also I think it's just respecting the fact that they have their own ideas on the world and things that they want to do, and your job ultimately is to guide them. And so the other thing I've really found is that each one of our children are completely different. So
treasure chest.
You know, they've all got different personalities and all different things, you know, that are unique to them. But things that have worked really well for us are routine with every single one. We've always been quite strict with that. That's really worked well. Things like encouraging them to read, like from an early age, and reading to them.
Some more treasure chest.
Yeah, wow. That's worked really well. Things like dinner time. So we're not ones for you have to clear your plate, but if you're going to have dessert, then you have to eat your dinner. So yeah, I don't know. I think we just try and go with it. And also, I think because we have such a wide range of children, we've obviously got older with them. So I probably am a very different parent now at, well, 38 in 2 weeks than I was to when I had Matthew when I was 18. You know, it's a huge difference. And as a person, I've grown so much. Right, question number 2. How different have your boys and girls been? It's funny. Matthew is the eldest. He is very placid, very quiet in some respects, whereas the girls are very loud, very opinionated, very strong-willed. So they are different. All our girls have been raised exactly the same, and Matthew and Sebastian, so all of them. But Leah's always been much more of a tomboy, whereas Sienna and Eva are very feminine. Love their clothes and hair and all things like that, whereas Leah was always quite happy to put on a tracksuit and kick a football. So it's not, and I'm not particularly feminine. I, you know, can do my hair and makeup and stuff like that. But I can't say that I've done anything differently with each of them. And then having Sebastian, so with Matthew's obviously the eldest, so eldest is a son, 3 girls in the middle, and then Sebi at the bottom. And Sebi is a completely different boy to Matthew, completely. He's everywhere, he's into everything, and he's a lot more defiant than Matthew was. I just remember Matthew being just so relaxed, whereas Sebastian's on the go, like from the minute he wakes up, and he wants to do like absolutely everything. He's just a lot more hard to work. And again, I don't know if that's because I'm older, we're older, but he's just got a very strong personality, and we shall see how that pans out in the future. Number 3, how long have you been married? We've been married, let's think about this now, 4 years, I want to say, might be 5. But we've been together 16 years. So So yeah, I've known Dan a very long time. Yeah, I didn't think actually we would end up getting married because I always thought that we'd been together so long that we were fine the way that we were. But actually, I'm really glad that we did do it because obviously we had the children there, which was just like absolutely amazing. And I still absolutely love my wedding dress. Question number 4, do we have a routine? Yes, we do have routines for things. I think when you've got so many children as well, it's really important. So even now, like with everything that's going on, we make sure that they're up and they're dressed and that they're ready for the day. Because I'm like that as a person, you know, I like the structure, I like knowing what I'm doing. And I think it helps. With bedtime, we don't necessarily have bath every night. We might have it one night on, one night off, or we might have a quick shower. But those sorts of things, I think, especially when they're younger, really, really important. So for us, like with Sebastian, for example, and with Eva, it's always a story. It's either like bath time, then a story, and then he goes into his bed and we sing him a lullaby and say goodnight. So all of our children have always had those projectors since they were babies. He doesn't have it now because he's too big, but if you do have a baby, they're amazing. Mine always had the Tiny Love ones, and it has like 3 or 4 classical different music buttons and a bit where it has like the little toys that hang down and go round, or you can have ones with like a projector on the ceiling, and mine just always absolutely loved them. Question number 5, do you have any tips for family meal ideas? So again, we're quite a big family, so we do go through quite a lot. We try to be really careful about what we waste. So family favourites in our household are things like, and I'll admit actually Dan does do majority of the cooking. I've been cooking a lot more since we've been at home, which has been great. But we have things that I've recently discovered, homemade pizza. I'll do a separate video on that just to show you all how great it is. Spaghetti bolognese, I make a really good cheese sauce. They love like macaroni cheese, anything sort of pasta based, sausage casseroles. Trying to think what else we have. Sunday lunch we love, and if we don't manage to make it on a Sunday, it becomes Monday roast or Tuesday roast depending on the day. But they love it. Right, number 6, how old are you and where are you from? I don't really want to give away my age, but I think I've already said that it's my birthday in 2 weeks and I'm going to be 38. So yeah, I just feel like I'm really starting to feel like I'm getting older now. And I just don't know where the time's gone. And I suppose I notice it even more like with the children, because you're so busy with them and focusing on them, you don't realise as well that you're getting older. I'm from London, so I'm from Surrey. That's where I was born and brought up. Yep, good old Kingston girl. Right, number 7, any tips to get my child reading? Well, someone once told me that as long as your child is reading something, then that's the most important thing, and I think it's true. So Matthew wasn't always that keen, but he was always really into sports, so he'd always read sports themed things or spy things, and he used to absolutely love them. And I think he still reads a lot of sports stuff now. Leah's always been incredibly well read, but I remember going through a phase with her when she was about 7 or 8 where she didn't know what she wanted to read. The rule in our house is if you read 3 chapters of a book and you don't like it, you can put it down. And that's something that's always worked really, really well. I remember buying like different types of different genres for her, and eventually she found what she liked, and I'm so glad I persevered. English is such a strong subject for her. She does brilliantly in it, and I think reading gives your child such a good foundation for so much. Eva's the same. She's incredibly well read, and it really shows across her schooling, really shows. Sienna isn't that keen. She loves like romance, but trying to get her to read something is near on impossible. So again, I leave her to read what she wants, because I feel like as long as she's reading, then that's the most important thing. But question number 8, how did you find pregnancy? Again, I've been pregnant 5 times, which I can't quite really believe. Each one was different. I'm just trying to think back now. So Matthew, I was a lot younger, I bounced back a lot quicker. I was everywhere. I remember like being in London the week before I was due to give birth, or I was due, and my mum calling me and telling me to get back immediately, and what did I think I was doing? And I was just so oblivious to all of it. And I just remember thinking, what? You know, I'm seeing the sights, what's the problem? Leah, obviously I knew what to expect. But again, I didn't have any problems. I didn't really have any problems. I just found the more I had, the more like my body had obviously stretched the first time, and having other children to look after, my energy levels changed. The only one I really had issues with was with blood pressure. And with Sienna, I was not quite, I was massive. And then with Sebi, I had to inject myself. I'm just trying to think, I think it was my blood pressure again. Oh yeah, I was high risk of having a blood clot. So that wasn't particularly fun. So if that is happening to you, you know, ask many questions. But I was just relieved when it was all over. Because, you know, the textbook doesn't go like that, does it? You're supposed to be pregnant, bloom, blossom, pop the baby out, and everything goes back to normal and all is well. But the reality is actually quite different. I think because I've got so many children, I don't miss being pregnant. You know, some days I love looking at little babies and everything, but we've got a full house, so it's different for us. Yeah. Number 9, what types of labours did you have? Okay, so the short version is I had 4 natural births. So by natural, I mean I had hospital delivery. And then with Sebastian, I had an emergency C-section. So I've literally had everything from an epidural to delivering without any pain relief whatsoever. And Sebastian's was, I was just, to go through 4 labours and then have a C-section was quite a lot for me to get my head around, because I felt like I wish I'd had the C-section at the beginning. But then I also felt by having the section that it wasn't what I'd planned. And I think, again, you know, for a lot of women, that can be really something to get your head around, you know, when you're expecting something to go a certain way and it doesn't. And I'm so thankful that he's here, and the doctors did an amazing job. And, you know, nothing against having C-sections. It bothers me having a scar because, you know, it can be problematic sometimes for me. But apart from that, yeah, all completely different again. Number 10, did you breastfeed? Yes, I did. So again, you know, however you choose to feed your baby, whatever your circumstances are, you know, everybody has different experiences. Matthew was very early, and I remember finding it just so difficult. Now looking back, obviously I've got a wealth of experience. I wish I'd had someone there to support me and show me and really kind of champion it for me. I expressed for quite a while for him, but I just didn't have the confidence to feed. But I had so much milk that it was really quite easy for me to express for him. Leah, I had a lot of milk, but I combined fed with her. Sienna, I mean, if I hadn't have seen it with my own child, I would have probably found it quite hard to believe, because you read about these things. But she came out and she literally kneed her way up to my breast, latched on and fed for an hour. So I had no problem feeding her whatsoever. She was like an absolute dream. So that was just a real positive experience for me. And then Sebastian, I breastfed him for a year, so he was like my longest. Again, completely different. My milk had come in and left again. I think it was because I was quite stressed with everything that's happened with the birth and whatnot. But I saw a breastfeeding counsellor, and she was amazing, helped me kickstart my supply again, and had the most amazing journey with him breastfeeding. I loved it. But looking back, like now I'm back obviously like to full strength and everything. I think you can be quite vulnerable when you give birth and you're pregnant and, you know, you're tired and all these different things. And I was lucky that, again, you know, I had someone there to support me. And I think that, you know, that is a lot to do with it. And I could have just stopped at so many times. And, you know, again, you know, everyone's different. But for me, I'm glad that I got to do that and I got to experience that with him. It was the most amazing thing. And I would say, out of everything that I miss, from like pregnancy and labour and baby, it's probably the breastfeeding, because I thought it was just the most, you know, amazing thing ever. Anyway, thank you for all your questions and thanks for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you too much, and see you soon. Bye. Oh, Well, I'm supposed to say that thing where I say, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Bye.